Eu sou filho de pais.
I'm the son of parents from the Methodist Church.
Quando saía da
When I went
casa,
out, I would
chegava
go
ali
to
na
the
igreja
Catholic Church, which was on the way to Father and
que
Mother's
era o
church.
caminho de papai e mamãe quando
I
iam à
used to go
igreja
there,
deles.
meet
Eu
other
chegava ali,
children,
encontrava as
and
outras
not want to
crianças,
leave.
ficava ali, já não queria
They used to
sair
go to
mais.
their church
E eles
and would
iam à
come
igreja
looking for me
deles,
on their
lá
return.
passavam a me buscar. Conheci o padre, a alimentar o povo da palavra
I got to
de
know a
Deus, o
priest
modo de
there
pregar
who would
dele.
feed the people with God's
Eu
word.
fiquei cativado com aquela
The way he
vida.
lived and preached impressed me
E quando
greatly.
ia crescendo, íamos conversando, e
We used to
pronto.
talk as I grew up, and I began attending
Comecei a frequentar
catechesis.
ali a catequese. Me batizei.
Then I was baptized and confirmed.
Anos depois,
Sometime later I told the priest that I wanted to be like him.
Existem comunidades que estão além do rio.
There are communities also beyond the river. When the rainy season comes and the water flow swells, I cross the river on a boat. I leave the car on the bank. I take everything I need with me: vestments, liturgical books, my tent, and I cross to the other side of the river in a boat. There are communities some 5-6 kilometers beyond the river. I go there on foot. I don't go alone, rather in the company of 1 or 2 catechists.
Aquela água do rio, por exemplo, o rio Limpopo,
The water in the Limpopo River, for example, swirls. Sometimes the waters toss the boat about and momentarily even take control and change the boat's direction. Such situations are difficult and actually put my life in danger.
Acho que é risco à minha própria vida. Chiqualaquala ou Mapai é uma zona que está entre parques.
Chiqualaquala or Mapai lie between the national parks, so that if you walk here alone, you risk both life and limb. If there are 2 of you, then you complement each other. You might find cobras, an elephant, or even a lion cross your path. I've heard more than once that a lion had passed this way only a few days ago, or an elephant, or that a lion had devoured a cow or a goat. There are also scorpions here, tiny animals, but venomous.
Mas que tem veneno que quando te pica você passa todo dia a gemer. Por que eu me arrisco?
Why do I do it and risk all? Because of the gospel. Because I think about these people from beyond the river and that they must be filled with God's word. They deserve it. They cannot be left isolated and suffer for want of God's word. That is why, for their sakes, somebody has to take the risk.
Em 98 segui para o seminário Cristo Rei.
In 1998, I went to a seminary.
Todos os jovens
It wasn't easy.
da aldeia, os que cresceram comigo.
All the other young people I had grown up with in my village went to work in the mines in South Africa. I heard that they found fulfillment, managed to acquire a bicycle, a bed to sleep on, whilst I had none of these things. I felt tempted to leave. Let's leave. You are poor. You will work. You have no father or mother. Go and work for your own good, and so on. I told myself, I have to make a choice.
Eu dizia a mim mesmo, a opção tem que ser minha. Fui ao ensino teológico e no ano 2007 terminei.
I went to theological college and completed my studies in 2007. I received my holy orders, and the subsequent challenge was to be sent to this region. But I told myself, if I don't go, who will? If I don't go, a native inhabitant of Mozambique, of this diocese, one who speaks my country's language, then who is to go? We always wait for someone from Europe, someone from Asia, to come and be acculturated, to learn the language, and to evangelize our brothers. If nobody goes, I will go.
Se ninguém vai, eu vou. Ah, recolhe com a pai. Kambe ke itabala hina swaku hi va mani mina ni Padre Antonio wa Igreja Católica ni tshamela ngopfu ko sini ya ka mapai so ku nyamutlha swi xuvile ku ni nga tsemakanya mfula ni tsemakanya mfula lo wa Limpopo ku ni ta fika ni mpfuxela haleno
na mina ni Francisco. Okay. Na mina ni suka kwale ka mapai.
Okay. Tani ngwana ngwa ya kereke ni ana iloko. Nyamutla ka kereke ko kar uta pam. Ngumutsimbi ko hayi. Wa unga ka kereke linga ko mhana we. Kari wonga tsaka ku ka liya. Wa famba kwanana.
Hi swona. Hi leswo ni nga xi va ku miehleketo na swona leswaku ni vona leswaku khambi lin'wani loko ni famba seniya ni tsaka ni famba ka kona ngopfu ni tindhawu tin'wani. A primeira evangelização aqui nesta zona.
The first evangelization of the northern part of Xai-Xai Diocese, but especially of Xiqualaquala, began in the 60s, thanks to the Vincentian fathers. They settled in Chisapa, where they built a large church that was widely praised. They also had a school here, to which many students traveled to study. Whilst a little later they also built a boarding school. The missionaries that were here were Portuguese. However, when a civil war broke out between two resistance movements, Renamo and Frelimo, the missionaries had to leave the northern region, because at the time the church was regarded as opium for the people. We find ourselves in front of the parish church of Chisapa, our Most Holy Lady of the Assumption. It was without missionaries for many years, which caused the infrastructure to disintegrate, as can be easily seen. The boarding school on the other side was also partially destroyed, as was the school. People continually plead and ask me why the church is in such a state. Why haven't we rebuilt it? Up to now we have not found the resources to undertake such a venture. The faithful here have no permanent priest. To this and other communities I come once a month, or even every second month. Though we have very few priests, we continue to pray unceasingly. The people of Mapai live from farming, but that is only possible during the rainy season. The train comes here on Thursday, and presently they have nemba beans that they cut and bring here to the main railway station to sell to those people, who then resell them in Maputo. The people of Mapai also live from animal husbandry, of small animals. By selling a chicken, they might be able to buy 2 kilograms of rice or a kilogram of flour. A chicken sale kills their hunger for a few days. Difficulties are various. There is a lack of roads between Mapai and the villages. Another problem is the lack of water. Presently, water comes exclusively by rail. The pump here has broken down, so there is no water. But if the railway plumbing fixtures were to fail, for example because of a motor failure, the people would be left without water for 2 to 3 days. What solution? They would have to walk 17 kilometers to the nearest river, and then to carry back 25 liters of water on their heads. Nearly a whole day dedicated to getting water. Here in Mapai, we have one community, and the people are earnest in their faith and duties. There are also, however, those who do not go to church. The majority of fathers here are polygamists. We have Christians who have 2 or 3 wives, and as a result cannot receive Holy Communion. They say, I have a child with that other woman, I cannot leave her. Though there is in me a yearning and a thirst to return to receiving Holy Communion, because Christ is my sustenance. The majority of people find themselves in such a situation because of polygamy. My evangelization is based mainly on ensuring that the children do not become like their parents.
Kanumambo. Papa Jimmy's njani?
Hayi, Gilba.
So, a vossa vida de cristandade, como que está andando?
Standard. Standard.
E você, papá, é casado, canonicamente pelo civil, e encontra alegria no ser casado no estado da Igreja Católica e Civil?
Sim, encontro alegria porque, de facto, casamos canonicamente e depois passamos para o registro civil. Assim, formamos a família e estou muito satisfeito. Estou muito satisfeito.
Não, pai de mim, muina muniva sati vambiri. Ele simula como é que univa sati vambiri njangwini.
Alisimala ku kumeka wena vasati vambirhi ndyangwini ku xin'wana na xin'wana lexi endlaku ku wena vasati vambirhi ndyangwini li simula kona ku fana ka sweswi ni le ku fambeni loyi mun'wana u selele kaya a vona a swi hlange a vona xisava xi humelela kaya hi lexi hi nga za hi nghena layinini lexi xona mara hi ku landzelela ku leswi mina ni nga taleni luyi a nga sale ka u se na swihlange a vona swa mintirho swi kahle mara hi ka ku gungula ka vona va mamani a swi nge pfumaleki ku gungula ku mi vona ni sweswi swin'wana swa petseka swin'wana a swi petseki mara hi ka lisima a hi swi vonisa sweswi ku loko za ni teka va hi vambirhi loko ni suka ni huma na loyi ni vhakache ka ndhawu yin'wana luyi a u ta sala vona swi nga kwakaya
Se n'wina ke vamanisara muleyini n'wina?
Vhela ka hina vambirhi a hi swi tshika hi holova hi timhaka to fana ta ku ta mintirho ya ku na ku hina mun'wanyana hi ku i para hina vambirhi ni nga vula loko i para mina na papa Santani na mina loko ni karhele va swi kota ku ni pfuna hi leswi swi lavekaka loko ni yo karhala va swi kota ku na vona va hamba cani kumbe swakudya va swi kota ku lunghisa se kwalaho hi kona swi vona leswaku na mina ni nga koti ku vilela mun'wanyana ni nga swi navela va ka va swi endla maxi hi vutomi la kona lin'wanyana le henhla ka kona ni nga swi naveli ni nga va navela ku va pfunetana mintirho maxi hi loko se va hamba va suka laha ka ku pfunetana mintirho se ni kumeleke ni nga ha swi naveli se hikwalaho swi ni endlaka leswaku na mina ni nga swi koti ku holova swa ku a ku laveke mun'wanyana hi ku loko a hi mina ntsena ni nga ta endla nchumu hi ku hambi kwalomu swi humelela ku hayi ku rhandza ka vona mun'wanyana ku rhandza ka yena mun'wanyana hayi ku rhandza ka yena swo humelela kwalomu ndyangwini ntsena.
O meu trabalho diário
My everyday work
nesta
in the northern part of
zona norte, de
Chiqualaquala
modo particular em Chiqualaquala,
is about
é o
evangelization.
trabalho da evangelização.
At home, I endeavor to be a man of prayer every day.
Eu, na casa, procuro ser
When I
uma
wake up in the
pessoa de
morning, I always
oração.
aim to pray and
Nas
meditate.
manhãs sempre procuro acordar,
I pray not for
rezar,
myself,
meditar, rezar por
but
mim,
for God's
rezar
people.
pelo povo. Na vida cotidiana,
Here at
aqui na
home, there are
casa,
also many everyday
há
problems.
Problemas da iluminação,
With lighting,
porque eu uso candeeiro.
We only use
As casas
candlesticks.
de banho também
Bathrooms are
estão
also an
ali,
issue.
e nas condições precárias.
The day here has to be exploited to the full. When the sun is shining and there is light, reading is only possible during the day.
E para ler só é possível de dia. Quando eu fui
When I was sent here, I arrived from another reality, from a seminary. 10 years of education in a different milieu,
outro ambiente, as casas.
where I had my own room,
Tinha o seu
lighting,
quarto ali, a iluminação
a chapel for
ali,
prayer.
pronto.
The reality here is
A
totally
cadeira para
different.
rezar é uma outra realidade. Aqui não
I have
tem
no
cozinheiro,
cook
sou eu que cozinho.
and have to prepare everything myself. I go to the market, buy firewood. At other times, I go to the communities.
Se vou às comunidades. Não puxar Papá Luís, tchau. Não puxar Papá Luís. Não só visito aqueles que são
I not only visit Catholics,
também
also non-believers.
católicos.
I visit these people to deepen my understanding of their everyday lives.
Da vida do dia a dia.
The communities are widely dispersed. Some are at 17 kilometers distance, while the farthest are over 150 kilometers away.
Ali,
That creates problems because road access is poor.
transibilidade nas estradas. Não é
It is not easy to visit a community and return on the same day.
Hello, lixile. Njani? Bene fukile. Imwenza kwini amali ya gazolo lana. Ayifambi mntana tshelela. Tanani. De preço, isso aí é caso.
The rising price of petrol is a big problem here.
Para a sobrevivência de sacerdote.
The spirit of making offerings for the upkeep of a priest is different here than in the towns.
Pronto, mas estamos
I tried to make them see that I am here for them, and slowly but surely, they should come to realize their responsibility for my upkeep.
Na questão da sobrevivência minha. Porque em questões de doença,
When I am
eles trazem
ill,
pouco
they
de
do bring
água,
me some
tem
water.
passo, isso aí.
That is a step forward. It all needs time.
Isso aí requer tempo. Chave, una Yesu Não temos a linha da TDN, o telefone fixo.
There are no telephone landlines, no mobile phone network to be able to ring a village and tell them of our forthcoming arrival. To communicate with the villages, one needs to issue an information letter that says, listen, I want to meet the community animators on such and such a day for a training session at location X. I will be coming to call on the Chikumbani community on day Y. I have to come a day earlier so that the people can see a priest has arrived for real. I set up camp in the community and sleep there. The nights are used for educational storytelling. Songs are also taught during the night, church songs, also games and festivities, and we sing and so on. Lessons can be learnt from the stories. That is how I carry out my work.
É assim como que eu faço os meus trabalhos. E na cautomila hina ndlela yin'wani na hi landzaka magasa ya Yesu Kristu. Ku la siku lin'wana hambiloko hi nga yanga ntaleni liya.
Então, padre, como vai a tua vida cá? Já há muito tempo que a gente não se encontra.
Exato. Depois com o problema do telefone aqui, a gente tenta chamar, não pode. E a vida está indo num bom ritmo, na graça de Deus.
E o plano pastoral tem conseguido levar avante?
O plano pastoral tem aderência de modo particular e admirador.
Que bom.
Enche quala. E fazem visita ali nas casas, reúnem-se, rezam nas casas. Aqui ainda estão a cochear, mas estamos naquilo que se diz, é um empurrão e chova.
Bem, o que fazer?
Vamos ver.
É assim mesmo, mas no fim do ano as coisas vão mudar.
Sim. O que importa é ter fé. Ter fé em Deus. Sermos pessoas contínuas de oração. E rezarmos por nós mesmos. E rezar pelos outros que estão ali na caminhada em vista a alcançar o sacerdócio. Porque é necessário esse tipo de partilha. Assim como estamos a conversar aqui. Partilhar a experiência do plano da diocese.
Mas temos esperança. Já, bem.
Eu estou feliz de
I am happy in the priesthood, though I must say that it is not absolute happiness, because absolute happiness, in my view, requires living in community. Thus, if such a possibility of daily community life existed, my happiness would be all the greater. The bishop doesn't want any priest to live alone. But then how to allocate two? No one can give out of nothing. The diocese presently has very limited resources for the upkeep of its priests. The continued evangelization of this region will be very difficult. In the spiritual sense, I feel joy, because I always look for opportunities to pray and to offer God the day, to do not for myself, but for God who accompanies me in everything I do. I became a priest in order to serve people and to feed them God's word. Being a good priest, for me, is about seeing oneself in a relationship with God and about always trying to help people in need. Such is a good priest.
Esse é bom padre.